near them on stream, and I get to call that content. All right, let's wait for this thing to actually like do its thing. Poop this onto the internet. There's my disgusting visage. Move this over to the monitor. I have a fancy 3-monitor computer, but I only use one of the monitors as a monitor to monitor my things that I need to monitor. Auto find and activate. Bada bing. There we go. So YouTubers will be chatting with all y'all, and they'll have their own little logo next to their names. Isn't that cute? I don't really have anything else activated in YouTube. I don't think I'm popular enough to have like features, so I don't really know what to do about that. But luckily, I don't have to pay for a service to co-stream. They apparently have things that are like servers that you upload your stream to, and then that splits it off onto the different platforms. I have the Chinese plugin that's probably stealing my data and hacking my computer. I have the Chinese plugin, and that runs them all from OBS. So OBS is dual outputting. I probably have enough bandwidth. I could add Kick to this too if I really want to, but I don't think I want to wade into that sort of kiddie pool of excrement. I don't know what other platforms. I don't want to stream to Facebook. It's like boomers and shit. I don't think I want that noise. I don't know. Twitch is a great platform. I like the people on Twitch. You guys are hilarious routinely. YouTube is a vast well of people that for some reason my stream cannot penetrate. I get 1 or 2 people to stream, and I love you guys for it, you YouTubers that sort of trickle in. I don't know how to get more. Stream Elements has a plugin if you're already using it. Stream Elements. I don't think I'm using Stream Elements. No, I don't. I'm going to stick with the Shady plugin. I prefer the way we do things here, you know? I prefer the Shady plugin. It's a little more direct, right? It's a plugin that I run that just uploads it to the platform. It doesn't avoid double dipping into the bandwidth though. But I've got good internet here, so I think it's okay. What did I call it? You got to remind me what I called it, because when I'm ranting like that, I don't realize what I'm saying. Oh, the Shady plugin. Yeah. We will refer to it as that. Yeah, these both have 4 wires coming from them, so we definitely have encoders. Man, these are stiff wires. Holy shit. What a boffin. Oh yeah, the second one we have. The second car part that I have, that is a whole goddamn meal. This is a whole meal. This is a 2 to 4 streams to even start to get into this. This is the second car part that I got in the mail. I did not get the motor in the mail yet. That got waylaid by the storm. I don't know what it is about FedEx. eBay prefers that everybody ships on FedEx, right? It just enables a whole lot. There's too many lyrics on this particular mix. Hold on, I need something that's maybe a chill mix, but I'd rather not have lyrics during the whole thing, please. Let's just go with volume 1. What's up, Madamu? How you doing? Madamu, you cannot hear what I'm playing right now, unless you're on Twitch, which is probably fine because there's previously a whole lot of lyrics, and I'm like, I can't hear myself think. This thing is a whole meal, this computer. I kind of forget what I was saying before. This thing is extensive. Apparently they're using relays to control the seats. And here's the processor on it. That's a lot of pins. That is a lot of pins. This is a 4-layer circuit board from a BMW with an 8 megahertz clock. I guess that's crystal. I've never seen a crystal in a ceramic package like that. Probably temperature stable. And there's a whole lot of missing stuff here too. That may or may not correlate to seat memory. I'm not sure. I just got a random computer off of eBay, but this is the seat computer. So each of the front seats in a BMW F10, whatever year series that was, has a whole ass computer inside of it with a whole bunch of relays and a couple MOSFETs and some shunts. Some shunts. I don't know why some shunts. There's some shunts. I don't know. Unfortunately, I bought this thing off of eBay. Talked to my brother, and he was like, "Yeah, I've got that motor and the computer and a shifter if you want it. And I'm like, what shape is the shifter? And he was like, I don't know. I'm like, is it square? It's like, yeah. So is that how BMW is able to charge people for heated seats? I think the F10 is only just predating the heated seat debacle. I think that's in the later versions. It's unlikely that they totally revamped the system though. So yeah, that's probably part of why. By the way, frame rails, I would have gotten all the frame rails I needed all in one big kit with the fastening hardware if the import charges didn't double the cost of one of these racing sim cockpits. What I'm gonna have to do is spend probably as much as this thing costs, that total at the bottom. Probably gonna have to spend that much, but I'm gonna get it off of eBay because the eBay shippers have free shipping. So I spent $116 on 2 rails with free shipping instead of spending $160 on the whole kit and $85 shipping. Craziness, right? So anyway, oh yeah, BMW F10 shifter. So I don't know if it's going to be this hideous thing. I don't know if my brother had an M car. If he had an M car, this might be acceptable, but it might be this weird thing. Because he said kind of square. The really modern one, the like this year M shifter is the one that I would absolutely want, but it's not something that I can get. So whatever my brother's providing with, we will take a look at it at the very least, and this will probably be shelf candy like the other one. The other sequential shifter for the automatic, I don't particularly care for. That style of shifting confuses me when I'm driving and I end up double shifting and stuff. Could you get charged when parts come in from customs? I think the eBay free shipping is because the rails are in California. I think they're in California so they can offer free shipping because this industrial rail is used everywhere. The sim racing cockpits that you see using rail are actually using 3060 rail, 3060, 1x2. It's a two gang rail, and it's 30 series, which the 30 millimeter series, which I can't find anywhere. I can't find it. Like there's some on 8020's website. JLCMC doesn't really have it. This is like catatonic chill. This is way too chill. This is like floating in a cloud before succumbing to your wounds. Like this is not, it'll pick up in a minute. I just have to be patient. So yeah, we won't get customs because it's going to be in the States. If I do it off of these eBay sellers, and this eBay seller is going to get like a free vacation from a bother. I swear, if we can make the money gun work quickly, like the next few streams, if we can make the money gun work, then this might fund the cage for the sim setup. As of right now, I've got a bunch of the 20 series rail, and I think this was a bad buy. This stuff is good to have around though, the 2020 series rail. Good to just have around, have a stock of it. But I spent a bunch of money on this rail, and I think it's gonna be a little bit too cranking my hog in the sim pit car. Anything is possible, my good friend, if you just apply yourself properly. You too can have the masturbatarium that I've got going on right here. I don't know if I'm gonna put 3 monitors on this thing. I don't think so. It can grow over time. But I think this rail's too flimsy for my big dumb fat ass. Like this thing is pretty robust. I mean, it's not a super light, it's not super leggero, right? But it is pretty robust. Did that fart not go through, or did you type the number 4 into stream? Why didn't it do? Why not do? We had farts working earlier, like 5 minutes ago. Oh, 4 4s and 4 screams. Sorry. Because I built myself my own coffin in this room, I've built myself into my own mausoleum. Whenever I see somebody type just a number into chat, I think that they're redeeming a fart. Not talking about the number of screens. So if you guys give me just a modicum of context, because I'll say stuff and then I won't realize what I said and I'll fully move on in my brain by the time you guys on your like 4-second delay, 2-second, 1-second delay, it's still, I've moved on. My brain is in like an entirely different planet. What would you do with 4 screens? You'd have a seam right up the middle of the, unless you put a screen behind you so you can back up. You do the full backup thing in like, what do you call it? Euro Trucker. If I can get this thing working and I set a minimum donation of like $5 would probably be the most charitable one, but the problem is with $5, people will do it again and again and again. And with this thing, every time it goes off, it is a big pickup job. Like I was finding dollar bills that I didn't know, like right here. Where'd you come from? The fact that I'm using real money in this thing's hilarious. But like, this thing has to blow most of its load every time it goes off, much like myself. So this will probably be behind a big monetary redeem later. At first though, it's just going to be chaos, right? I'll put it down to like $5 or $10. I think probably $5. And at $5, there will be some whales who will come in here and want to set it off 75 times, which is all well and good. It makes me money, but that means that the whole stream is just going to be getting bukkakied by dollars, which is, I just love my life. Listen, you get to a point in your life and you go, did I just say that in sincerity? Yes, I did. I said that in sincerity on the internet to at least 20 people. Sit in a room, you got 20 people paying attention to you, and you just can say, I'm going to bukkake myself with money with this machine that I built. We'll, later on, we will cut this part off, put a plate here, make it so that it's mountable by a posable arm of sorts. Get rid of the little metal piece, because this little metal thing I think is just in there. It's the little activate lever. I think that's just in there just so that money doesn't spill out of this thing when you're holding it around, you know, when you're pointing at your homies and stuff. When you vibe check your homies with this thing. If you put money into this thing wrong, it just ruins it. But anyway, so having this behind like a low donation amount, and then if that pops off and I make a bunch of money off of it, I can buy the big rails that I'm gonna buy anyway. I think that's what needs to happen. I need to put some limitations on myself so that we are incentivized to innovate. People go, oh, that's smart, Bother. Yeah, I can sound smart all day, but actually putting my bukkake where my mouth is, putting the money where my mouth is probably the hard part. Code it and mod it so it shoots out the donation amount. I don't know how much money is in that thing right now, but there's no way that I can actually meter it. I know like money counting machines exist and stuff, so there are ways that you can handle the money accurately and actually get a sense for it. I think maybe, and I said this on the Discord, and it was a very unique sentence indeed, I have some very lightweight micro switches, and I could put one next to the wheel so that it would know if there isn't any money sitting there. So it would know if I've been fully bukkakied, and then it would go into an error state. We could just put a red LED on this thing. Go into an error state and then wait until I reload it and then give it a countdown and then set off again for the next one. I think that's what we need. Is that an AR and AK grip? No, my friend. This is a 1911 grip. It's got the safety on the back. I think it's 1911. I think it's at that angle. But it's got the grip safety back here. So it's either, I think that's a 1911. I think that's 1911. Let's check. Don't AI answer that. Yep, it's a 1911. That's very easily. Oops. Yep, that's it. It's got the grip safety. I actually have something that's unique. I have the grip switch for a Vietnam era infrared sniper, 20,000 volt infrared sniper. And this grip came with it, and we soldered on our own cables because my brother and I used to use this for like potato cannons and stuff. The pinky thing? What, or do you mean this guy? This little thing right here? I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely 1911. That's the angle that they give you. We're cutting it off. I'm cutting this off and throwing it out. It's a piece of shit plastic. This thing is like the prison safe version of the money gun. The one where the guards can look in to see that you're not smuggling drugs into the prison. And then we've got this cheap ass switch. It's the cheapest switch and a relatively cheap motor with just like a gear wheel on it. There's nothing to this. It's kind of amazing. What a product. Somebody's making a lot of money off of this, and it's not even that expensive. That or this is the reverse engineered China version of the product. But yeah, we've got this like grip switch that I haven't really had anything to do with. It's kind of cool. But this is for a 20,000 volt infrared lamp. And then you had this night vision thing that had a little radioisotope that would flip into the position and charge up what was essentially glow in the dark shit, but for infrared light. And so you had this Archimedes, is it Archimedes? I think so. No, Archimedes screw. Who's Galileo lens? I forget who the astronomer's lens is, but it's a lens that basically focuses everything onto a little plate, and then your view objective is looking at that little plate that it's focused on. And so that'll do the glow in the dark thing and amplify the photons that are coming in from the very large infrared light source. And from then up until the early 90s, the United States owned the dark with night vision technology based on that. The technology in its current form is ultra-sensitive CCD sensors, but the actual night vision from Gen 2, Gen 3, I think Gen 4, was basically a tube or a hexagonally shaped tube or pixel shaped tube that was two parallel plates that are just off angle from one another a little bit. And the photon comes in and it bounces back and forth on those plates that have high voltage on them, and then some kind of a phosphor coating it. And so the high voltage and the phosphor interacted somehow and amplified those photons until a lot of photons came out of the end of the pixel. And that's why you have in Gen 2 night vision, they're super sensitive towards heavy sources of light, like the sun can ruin your Gen 2 night vision, which sucks because the tubes are still thousands of dollars because they are sort of a more rare technology. They're becoming more common though. A lot of the FUDs and the cosplayers for gun stuff have started to buy them up in droves as they are obsoleted by our military. Whew. Okay, yeah, car parts. This is going to be interesting. I don't know what's going to come of this. We've got some weird stuff here. Got some weird stuff. It should be pretty cool. I can't wait to put voltage through this to see how it adjusts. And then we've got the seat computer, which is wildly expensive. Unfortunately, the one that I bought, I just sort of pulled the trigger on a $20 one on eBay, and you get what you pay for. There are broken and missing components on the bottom of this board. That scratch right there goes down to some of the inner layers. And then there's a broken transistor somewhere around here. Where did that broken transistor go? It's here, I swear. I'm not lying to you. I'm not lying. There it is. Yeah, that got all messed up. And I don't know what it was. I don't know what transistor it was. So this will be an example of how the circuit works. And it's possible that depending on how this thing works, we might actually make this one power this thing. Because what I'll do is I'll take over the microcontroller with my own. There's a lot of stuff to do in here. This is a big project. This is a lot larger than I thought it was. So my brother's going to send me or get to me. I think my folks are going to go visit him, and then I'll visit my folks. So I'll get the parts eventually, but I'll get that motor, I'll get the shifter, which is potentially kind of ugly, and then I'll get the seat computer that I can then just hook up and give power to and see if it'll help me adjust, like, will it let me adjust the seat without having a whole bunch of CAN messages go back and forth. Have an alarm that says, you broke ass, get more money. Get that money. Just take the whole car. No, I really should. I should vampire clip onto the K-bus of the seat and then record the signals. What I really want, if anybody owns a Mercedes-Benz and is handy with an oscilloscope, I would really appreciate it if you would somehow get into the LIN bus that speaks to the steering wheel and get me the signal of you changing the backlighting intensity so I can reverse engineer that packet and send it to the wheel and have the wheel light up, because Mercedes-Benz is not as extensive as BMW in terms of the nerds reverse engineering everything. The BMW nerds get into everything. They get into everything. My God, they get into everything because they want to modify everything to make it super duper crazy fast, and then it goes boom and the car just stops working. But anyway, they get into stuff and they're smart and they have a lot of resources because they're BMW rich people. So I would love to find out what the signals are for the Mercedes backlighting so that I could have the backlighting turn on that wheel, but it's just not out there. If it was a BMW wheel, I'd probably be able to just look it up. It's crazy. Maybe in some of the service manuals, maybe there's a little thing about the LIN bus somewhere. I don't know how I can access Mercedes-Benz information though. But I went with the Merc wheel because it had paddles on the back and it had a lot of buttons. And the up, down, right, and left buttons were generally roughly in the shape of a normal keypad. And so I thought that would be the best one to put on like a driving simulator. Time to go take a Merc for a test drive. Why are you removing the panels on this car? Shut up. Shut up, car sales drone. I have things to look at. I'm smarter than you. I know more about this car than you ever will. Yeah, I went with the Merc wheel because it has paddles and it's got the layout of the up, down, right, and left buttons and all my volume controls and stuff. I thought that was really cute. And rolling that into the rest of the thing will be a sort of what this column allows me to do is remove all the stuff that's up top so that I'm not, when I'm looking into the monitor, I don't have half of a servo blocking. I just have the Merc wheel. Can you find, hold on, maybe we'll try this. And look up slip ring. Just look up. No. All the slip rings that are cheap here, yeah, 70 bucks. Although this would do exactly what I want it to do, which is to go around